Hello, just wanted to welcome you to Cocalico High School's virtual Back to School Night 2020. My name is Mrs. Butz, and I am teaching Algebra 103A this fall, and I will be teaching Algebra 103B in the spring. And I also help to cover and supervise the online lab during first block. So I just wanted to take a moment and kind of go through expectations and things, realizing that in the fall of 2020, things are definitely changing week by week and things, but we are definitely adapting, and here we are to share our virtual back to school night with you. So just wanted to share some information with you. On the PowerPoint is a picture of the textbook that we use, and we also try to use the graphing calculator. However, right now we are using Desmos and some online graphing calculators, but eventually during the course I'm hoping to pull out the TI-84 graphing calculators so that we can use them as well. So if your students have access to them at home, that would be great for them to be practicing, because they can use the TI-84 plus graphing calculator on SATs, PSATs, any standardized tests, Keystone exams, things like that. So in Algebra 103A this semester, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be looking at the first 5 chapters. And then in Algebra 103B, we will look at chapters 6 and beyond to prepare for the Keystone exam, which is in May. Right now, we haven't received any word on whether the Keystone exams would be canceled. So right now we're proceeding forward as if the Keystone exams are going on. And so I'm going to share some of those dates with you right now. So as we look at the Algebra 103A topics, we will cover chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we'll do a lot with solving linear equations and graphing them and writing them, and then we'll finish up with solving systems of linear functions. In Algebra 103B, we get into statistics and probability and some other information that way, which we'll share with you on the second half of the school year. So for your course grade for this semester, 40% of the grade will come from first quarter, 40% of the grade will come from second quarter, and 20% of the grade will come from the final exam, which for freshmen, this is a big change from the middle school grading, because for one thing, you're used to trimesters and now we're on quarters. So every 9 weeks there is a grade rather than the every 12 weeks, which happen at the elementary and the middle school level. Your quarter grade this semester is going to be 60% on assessments. That's going to be quizzes, tests, any big type of project. I'll let them know ahead of time when it's going to go into that 60% category. All of the other daily assignments that we're doing, and I hesitate to call it homework or classwork, because some of the students are doing the work at home, some of the students are doing the work at school. So calling it daily assignments this year. So whatever their daily assignments are, 40% of their grade will go into that. Now, everything they do in Schoology for me, I'm not going to count in the daily assignment grade, because some of it is part of the learning process. But once we got to a point where we've practiced a little bit, there's going to be an assignment where they that does count as part of their grade. But if it's kind of something where they're in the learning process, I'm not necessarily counting those as part of the grades, and I've explained that to the students. What students need to do to achieve success in Algebra 103A, definitely participate in class, whether they are virtually or here in person. It's a little bit difficult right now. We're getting used to wearing our mask, but as every week goes on, I'm hearing more from the students. I actually think I hear more from the students that are virtual than the students in class, because I think once we have that mask on our face, we just kind of don't talk as much. So we're all learning to talk with our mask and things like that. But encourage your students to ask questions, participate in the online, the virtual activities, as well as the activities in class. I definitely would encourage them to review daily. At the high school, because of block scheduling, we do go through material fairly quickly. And so stepping back and reviewing what we've learned the day before, especially since math connects and builds on itself, is really, really important. Read the section in the book. Many students don't think that they should read a section in the math textbook, but reading the section in the textbook really does make a difference. as far as helping them to either preview the information or kind of go back over information. So one of the suggestions that I would have if they're struggling with a section is ask them, did they read the section in the textbook yet? There is, every time I post a section, I have the whole book in Schoology, but I also am posting just the section so they don't have to flip through the whole book. So I'll post just the section in the section folder as well. The nice thing this semester is Mr. Gingrich, Mr. Garrett, and myself are all teaching 103A. So you are going to see the three of us on the videos, or hear the three of us in the videos. So if you're like watching this video tonight and saying, this isn't the person I've seen in the videos, well, it's because we're kind of sharing with each other the different videos for the different classes. So you're gonna see the three of us. And so that's nice for the students to get to hear different explanations. Encourage them to complete all the assignments, message me on Schoology if they have any questions, to seek extra help whenever they need it. And to also make sure this semester communication is going to be so key. They just need to make sure that they're communicating to me what's happening, why they're not able to do something, or when they need help. When you see that they're struggling, I don't see it necessarily, especially if they're at home, and especially since I only see them in person 40% of the time during the week. So encourage, if you see something, let me know. Encourage them to message me on Schoology so that we can have the communication and meet with each other. Resources for Algebra 1, everything that I'm doing, I'm posting in Schoology. There is a daily assignment folder, and in that daily assignment folder, there's a page that kind of shares what we're doing in class and what kids should be doing at home. And I told students that sometimes if you, just make sure you're looking at that page and completing everything that is on that page. Some students might take longer to do what's on the page. Some students might finish it a little bit quicker than others, depending on how easy the material is coming to you. So there's a lot of resources there, and I will also post extra resources as we move forward. Right now, I haven't posted too much extra just because I was wanting us to get into a routine and not be overwhelmed by that routine. Today, the other thing we will be doing is working with Study Island. The students access Study Island through Clever through their school account, and so we will be using Study Island to practice for the Algebra 1 Keystone exam. With Study Island, I do a group session with the students first. I've been doing that on Wednesdays when we're all virtual, and then they will have an assignment that they need to work on, whether it will be due that day, or I might make it like this week, I made it due next week just because it took us a little longer to do our group session on estimation together. And that is typical. Estimation are word problems, and it takes us a while to get through the word problems as we work together. So they have that assignment that they are working on for next week, which will be the night of this virtual back to school night. The other thing is nowadays you can Google any particular math term and you can find information and websites for that information. So I would encourage that as well as checking in with me and seeing what I can do to help them with the material. Feel free to contact me. Ways to contact me are through my email that is here, as well as Schoology message. Been doing a lot of Schoology messaging with students, and if you need to call me, you can call the high school, but email and Schoology message are the best and the quickest ways to get in touch with me. What courses should be taken next? I'm often asked that question. Hopefully most of the students in this course are signed up to take Algebra 1 103B in the spring. We as a math department highly suggest that they take 103A and 103B in the same year, just so that they are consecutive back to back and they don't have any gaps or downtime in their learning as they prepare for the Algebra 1 Keystone exam in the spring. Then next school year, they should take Geometry 123. And then Algebra 2 113 would be after that. And then we also have courses like pre-calculus, applied calculus, calculus, statistics, and a computer programming course in the department that students can take if they want to continue in their math learning. I would highly suggest that they look at what they might want to do after college just to see how many math credits they need, what math they need. I know Penn State requires students to take a trig course, so they would need to take the pre-calc trig course that occurs after Algebra 2. If you're looking at Penn State for applying to Penn State, they require that as part of their application. Some colleges also require you take a math placement test before you go. So kind of talking to those people and finding out what the requirements would be is a good thing to do. Right now, the class of 2021 and the class of 2022, our seniors are required to take 4 math credits. So if your student is a junior or a senior taking this course, they need to have 4 math credits to graduate. If your student is a freshman or a sophomore, they need 3 math credits to graduate. But one of the things that I caution you on is Algebra 1, 103A, 103B, and Geometry count as 3 math credits, but find out what are they interested in doing after high school. Are they career-wise, a tech school, a technical school, or college? Find out what the math requirements will be so that they are prepared for the next level. And there are so many different avenues that people can take these days, and if you need help with that, contact me and I can work on getting you connected with the right people. Testing dates, just to kind of be aware of these, our final exams are January 15th for first and third blocks and January 19th for second and fourth blocks. Algebra 1 Keystone exam, just to put this date on your calendar, is May 20th and May 21st. We do have makeup days right after that, but the easiest thing to do is if students can be in class on those days, they can just take the Algebra 1 Keystone exam on the testing date that is given. Just want to thank you for taking the time to watch the video and join our virtual back to school night. If you have any questions about any of the math courses or any questions about how your student is doing in class, don't hesitate to contact me either via email or through Schoology message, or give me a phone call here at the high school, because I will definitely be willing to stop and work with you and share any questions. But communication is the big key as we work through everything that we're working through this semester. And I'm looking forward to also seeing your students more on Google Meet and working with your students as we move forward. So please don't hesitate to get in touch with me.